as this evening it is a second-round NCAA tournament matchup between the Fighting Tigers of LSU and the Wolverines from the University of Michigan. Ducks under 5-footer, good off the glass.
That's a great move by Williams.
That's the Alexis Morris you're going to need to take you to the next round right there. Down the baseline, 4-footer off the glass and in. Good move by Angel Reese. Hands it off to Carson. She wants three more. Good.
Yeah, why not? What a great screen by Angel Reese.
Corner Carson for three. Good.
Let's go.
She got it.
Let's go, Jasmine Carson.
And Michigan calls time out. Down the lane, off balance, 5-footer off the glass and in for Reese. She has taken over. 32-22 Poole, left wing three. It's good.
Those are the best ones.
Will fire it down low. Williams catches it, lays it up and in.
What a pass.
Kicks it to Johnson. Three ball from the corner.
Hey!
That feels like a dagger. The horn sounds. The ball game is over. The final score is LSU 66, Michigan 42. And your Fighting Tigers of LSU are headed back to the Sweet 16.
How sweet it is.
In just year number 2 in the Kim Mulkey era.
Hello and welcome to the Tigers Roar. I am Jonathan Poche, joined as always by the Budman, Buddy Sanji here at Old School Barbecue. 10655 Coursey Boulevard. Great place to bring the family. Great food at old school prices. Come check it out. Old School Barbecue, once again, 10655 Coursey Boulevard. LSU women's basketball advances to the Sweet 16 for the first time in 9 years under Coach Kim Mulkey's second year at helm. Bud, man, great to see you here on a Wednesday as we tape here on March 22nd. Great to see you, Bud, man.
Good to see you, JP. Yeah, we are audibleizing. I know it's spring football and baseball and basketball season, but a little audible.
Yeah.
So we worked it out to, this week to go Wednesday. A lot going on. Kim Mulkey and the Lady Tigers had their send-off party. They are going back to Greenville, South Carolina. Greenville 2 Regional. LSU baseball once again wins again Tuesday night 10-4 over Central Arkansas. They will host Arkansas. The Razorbacks coming in. Do you know Dave Van Horn and Arkansas have never won a national championship in baseball? Oh, by the way, if you hadn't been keeping up, LSU's really good. Number one, we'll talk about then. And we do have some tidbits from spring football, but let me warn you real quick, because of the depth at a couple spots, like running back and O-line, not expecting a full-fledged spring game. Brian Kelly will give you the news. But a lot of new names, a lot of new numbers to get acclimated to. We'll do that along with whatever else JP brings to the table. As always, over here at Old School Barbecue, you can smell it, you can taste it. Come get some of this barbecue. You will not be disappointed.
That's right. We'll be talking LSU women's basketball. They had their send-off party today, as Budman mentioned. A great crowd there to cheer on the Lady Tigers. Angel Reese will talk about her performances in the NCAA March Madness tournament, at least in the Baton Rouge Regional. She went absolutely ham, 25 points, 24 rebounds in that game against Michigan. And look, Michigan had more size than LSU, especially in the backcourt. That's why you saw Poole get the start over Jasmine Carson. And Carson came off the bench, hit 3 big threes for Coach Kim Mulkey, and really gave the Tigers a shot of life in the second quarter.
25 and 24, come on.
Unbelievable.
We got to add 6, 4, and 3. 25 points, 24 rebounds, 6 blocks, 4 assists,
3
and
steals.
3 steals. I've never seen those kind of numbers since Shaquille O'Neal. Oh, by the way, just got another NIL deal. Everybody making money. Everybody except the national media loving LSU. What a great story. And Utah has a big 6'3.5" post player that they will have to contend with. But Indiana got beat by the Cavender twins in Miami. If you don't know about those young ladies, look it up. They were at the first controversial NIL ruling because John Ruiz, the sugar daddy at Miami, broke some laws on getting those girls over to Miami, but they beat number 1 Indiana. So Friday at 1:30, Miami and Villanova, and then LSU, Utah at about 4 o'clock on ESPN. Greenville 2 Regional, and I'm hearing 1,500 to 2,000 Tiger fans will make their way to support Kim Mulkey and the Lady Tigers. It's been the most enjoyable and electric. That was her best crowd ever with the Purdue game, and they finally played some defense, JP.
Yeah, they did look outstanding on defense and rebounding the basketball against Michigan. They really emphasized rebounding all week during practice, and it certainly paid off with Angel Reese and those big bigs down there. What do you call them? Big women, big girls? The bigs? You just call them the bigs?
Bigs.
Yeah, just call them the bigs. We'll talk about more basketball. We'll talk some LSU baseball. Of course, SEC tournament play. Conference play, I should say, started this past weekend. LSU traveled to Texas A&M. Took 2 out of 3 games, 4 outs away from the sweep, Bud, man. Had a little debacle there on Sunday. Don't really know what happened. I mean, Christian Little's been outstanding for the Tigers all season. LSU was on top 6-4, but then 4 runs in the bottom of the 8th to Texas A&M, who's a very talented team. Was some pundits picked to win it all this year. Was top 5 preseason, and Coach Jay Johnson, look, 9-0 that first game. Paul Skeens has another 11 strikeouts. Tommy White with 3 RBIs. The game wasn't even close. 9-0 was the final, and LSU was comfortable the whole game. This might have been the first time LSU had to use their bullpen, like the same guys twice in the same week. I think Coach Jay Johnson actually alluded to that prior to the Central Arkansas game last night. But LSU's going to be just fine. Only lost the 2nd game of the season. Looking very, very talented offensively and pitching-wise. Deep in the bullpen, and Coach Jay Johnson looks comfortable in year 2.
Look, they had the 9-0 shutout and just dominating. A lot of people comparing Paul Skeens to Steven Strasburg. Strasburg, of course, and Mark Pryor, and some of the great college pitchers that we've seen through the years. 12-7, had the bats. How about the Bear, Jared Jones, 7 RBI on the Saturday game.
Yep.
And here they are breezing along 5-1, and everybody's watching thinking, they're just going to kick A&M to the curb. And I'm not going to get onto their fan base, but I don't understand the affection with blowing bubbles. We were all kids when the mama gave you the little thing and you'd blow bubbles, but they do that at Texas A&M. Of course, they've got a lot of other weird mannerisms that we won't get into. That all being said, LSU got a little lazy, got a little lackadaisical, and the bullpen let them down, and they lost this ball game. But it's baseball, 19-2 after the first 21. 2-1 in the conference. This weekend hosting Arkansas. Next weekend hosting the Tony Vitello's coming in. He got thrown out again, as Tony Vitello is like a fly. He's a pain in the nose and the face. That all being said, it's a good time to be a Tiger fan. Yep. And LSU baseball, JP, I really think is the real deal this year.
Yes.
Anything. If they don't make it to Omaha, Jay Johnson's going to have to shop after midnight.
Yeah, I hear that. We'll also talk some LSU spring football. We do have some press conference video from Coach Brian Kelly. Let you guys hear that from yesterday, the 21st of March, as we tape here on a Wednesday, the 22nd, from Old School Barbecue, 10655 Coursey Boulevard. Bring the kids, bring the whole family. Great prices, old school prices, great food. Come check it out, 10655 Coursey Boulevard. Taking our first break of the evening. Before we do that, I want to remind you guys, check us out on YouTube at youtube.com/Pelican Broadcasting. While you're at the page, if you enjoy it, click that like button, click subscribe. It'll help us with the algorithm. We certainly appreciate you doing that. And anything you miss here on Tigers Roar, this episode or any other episodes will be there for your archive, for your viewing pleasure, along with a lot of other stuff like the Clarence Buggs Show, Overtime with Athletic Director Roman Banks from Southern University, that and a whole lot more on our YouTube page. Once again, youtube.com/Pelican Broadcasting. Our first break of the evening, we'll come back, talk some LSU women's basketball. You are watching Tigers Roar.
Hi, I am Dr. Farrell Frugier Jr., and I am a general dentist at Frugier Family Dentistry. I was born and raised in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. I went to Catholic High School, LSU, and LSU School of Dentistry in New Orleans, where I received my DDS degree in 1986. I always have and will continue to be committed to continuing my education, to invest in technology which makes the diagnosis and delivery of dentistry more thorough, more comfortable, and more aesthetically pleasing. In our practice, we are here to serve the patients. We want to improve their quality of life and to develop relationships with our patients. In dentistry, we have a chance to impact lives on a daily basis, not just by doing dentistry, but by getting to know them and being a part of their life. We also believe in giving back to our community. So every year, we give back to the Greater Baton Rouge Food Bank, Toys for Tots, and Mary Bird Perkins Cancer Center. Please stop by and visit our office. We would love to take care of you and your family.
Visit Treads & Care Tire Company's new location on Hooper Road in Central. Locally owned for over 50 years, Treads & Care is known for quality automotive repair and top-notch customer service.
I'd like to invite you to come out and see us at our new location in Central.
You can't smell it, but you can almost taste it. And whether it's for a family get-together or a game day feast, having Manda in the mix always sounds good. For 3 generations, their quality meats and original seasonings have made Manda a Louisiana legend and made their family sausage Louisiana's family sausage. Manda Fine Meats. The flavor says it all.
The biggest sale of the year is happening right now during Happy Honda Days at Team Honda. For a limited time, make no payments for 90 days on every new Honda. That's right, you choose and make no payments for 90 days at Louisiana's #1 Honda dealer, Team Honda on Segan Lane.
Desire in your eyes, but you can't keep it in your heart. 'Cause misery loves company. 'Cause misery loves company. Cold and hungry like a dog in the street. I get a raw deal every.
And we continue here on Tigers Roar, talking LSU women's basketball headed back to the Sweet 16 for the first time in 9 years. Coach Kim Mulkey's team hosted 2 games for the NCAA tournament this past weekend, defeating Hawaii and then Michigan. Kind of keeping serve. We expected LSU to beat those 2 teams, but wow, dominating fashion against both Hawaii and Michigan. But we'll talk about the Michigan game. Angel Reese, you got to kind of put her up there. Maybe not on the Mount Rushmore, but she's certainly at the site. I mean, what she's done for this program to reignite the fans and the recruits and the whole 9 yards. What she's done for the women's basketball program just 1 year she's been here has been incredible.
All you young people love to talk about it being lit and on fire. Yeah. LSU women's hoops has been fantastic to follow. The nickname, the Bayou Barbie, a lot of people think Mattel is going to come down on her and not let her use that Barbie name. Bottom line is let's get right to it, folks. Lex Luthor, a.k.a. Alexis Morris, touches the ball, and she was in slow motion last weekend.
Yep.
I think we all go through biorhythms and cycles and all these physical situations. I expect her to be appreciably better. Kateri Poole, this is a young lady that I've been critical of a lot of the year because she's not the fastest, but man, lockdown defense, hit a 3, great assist, played really, really good. You know who her BFF is? Angel Reese.
Oh, that's right.
So it works. They have great chemistry on the floor. LaDasia Williams, nobody talks about Day. She's fantastic and was really good with a double-double. Yep. Carson came in and hit three balls. Jazz Carson doesn't play great defense, but that offense was a little bit stalled, and she hit 3 big threes in that first half. And then, as we know, Flau'jae finally made some shots in the second half. Got to use the bench. I thought one of the key parts of the game, LSU's doubled them up at halftime, 30-15. Purdue makes a 5-0 run to start a minute and a half in. The coach calls a timeout and says, all right, ladies, we're not going back to what happened against Tennessee when you blew a 17-point lead. So stop the momentum. They got it together and prevailed 66-42. LSU and Utah will be interesting. On the radio show, I talked about 2 or 3 things that have to happen. First of all, got to keep Angel Reese and the bigs out of foul trouble.
On the floor, right.
Secondly, got to have some outside shots with Carson Flau'jae and Alexis Morris. Thirdly, with their big, LSU's going to double. They're going to double Angel Reese.
Yep.
So when you get doubled down low, you got to have somebody that's breaking to the goal. I want to see spacing. I want to see movement. And then, JP, something that people don't put a lot of stock on, I always watch it, making free throws down the stretch.
Yeah.
And as we know, you get a 1-and-1, and Angel Reese has attempted and made more free throws than anybody in the country. It's a great setup. I don't know what the spread will be. It'll be a close spread. Utah's the 2 seed, LSU the 3 seed, Villanova the 4, and Miami the 9. Villanova and Miami play earlier, and then LSU and Utah. I got to be honest with you. I can't believe, and I can't even remember, the last time people were so excited about a women's game.
No, right. And you mentioned the crowd earlier, and they said it was like 10,000 somewhere on a broadcast. It certainly sounded a lot louder than that. You kind of got to worry about a let-off or a let-down, I should say, with all that emotion that's going into your last game as a senior at the PMAC for girls like Alexis Morris. And your team just gives you so much energy that, I mean, you're playing for the Sweet 16. There's a lot going in. There's a lot of storylines, a lot of emotion that goes into that game. But are they going to be able to keep that level of intensity on defense side of the ball and rebounding? Like, you talk about 46 rebounds to Michigan's 26. That is dominating. And look, Angel Reese did miss a lot of close baskets, and she got a lot of rebounds. That contributed to her 24 rebounds.
Yeah.
But the whole team was fighting for rebounds. I mean, Poole, Johnson, everybody was fighting for that ball. If they can maintain that level of intensity on the defensive side of the ball, I think they'll be all right.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think it's a great point that you just made. This was the best defense they had played in a game in about a month and a half. Look, let's not kid ourselves. South Carolina, ladies, we've said it time and time again on all of our shows, they are probably going to do exactly what Georgia did. Back-to-back championships in SEC football. South Carolina, the odds-on favorite. They are loaded. They've got bigs. Dawn Staley, they've got a lot of depth. They go 10-11 deep, but it would be a heck of a story in year 2 to see the Lady Tigers get to the Final Four. One game at a time, but you made a great point. Can they bring that intensity, that rebounding, and that defense to the table again on Friday afternoon?
Yeah, you know they have a sour taste in their mouth from the last time they were in South Carolina. They haven't had good trips this season. They lost to South Carolina, obviously, on their home court, but then they had the SEC tournament over there, and they got not embarrassed, but they blew a huge lead against Tennessee. Not a pretty win, a pretty loss at all. So got to get that taste out of their mouth of playing in South Carolina. And Coach Kim Mulkey has her team ready to go. And I want you to let guys hear from Coach Kim Mulkey. Here is second-year head coach of the women's basketball team, Kim Mulkey, here on Tigers Roar.
Kim, 2 questions. Was considering the moment and considering the competition, was that as locked in defensively as you've seen this year's team? And how big was Jasmine coming off the bench with those threes at the start of the second quarter?
We were definitely locked in. I don't know if I would just categorize it as the best. It was good. It was darn good because we really didn't shoot it good. If you look at until we got to it was the fourth quarter, we started relaxing and hitting some of those threes. Jasmine handled herself like a trooper. She knew exactly why Kateri started, and it had nothing to do with anything but size. We knew they were bigger on the perimeter, and I wanted size in there, and I don't hesitate to put her in. They played a lot of zone, and I told her to go in there, and you get open look, fire it, and she came out on fire, and it was so big. It was so big. I don't know if it was Scott or who. You got to have production from everybody, right? I think we got production from everybody. I thought Flage missed shots, but she kept battling on the boards. I think she had 4 at half, ended up with 6. She hit a couple threes there late. How about LaDeja? I thought Samaya did fine when she was in there, but where's the guy that asked me about throwing waves? They didn't come at us in waves, did they? They played about 6 players, and we played about 6 players because it's the end of the season. It's, survive and advance. And but we were locked in defensively.
Jacques Doucet, WAP-TV. Coach, throughout the year you said we've won a lot of games, but we haven't accomplished anything yet. Is this the first Sweet 16 in 9 years for the school, and taking that next step, is that really accomplishing something?
It's not a championship, but it is definitely accomplishment. We have won one more game than we won last year, and you better believe that that's big for us in rebuilding this program. I thought the students were back tonight. They're done with spring break. I thought they were just awesome. I thought the crowd was electric. But yeah, Jock, that's a big deal for this program at this time. I've got coaches in there with tears in their eyes that have never won and been to a Sweet 16. I've got coaches in there that have been to multiple Final Fours and national championships. So you don't ever take things for granted, and you let them enjoy it. You let them soak it all in, and got kids in that locker room that have never been to a Sweet 16. And I'm wet. I'm soaking wet, so if I get pneumonia, y'all fill in for me.
Madeline Adams from Fox 8 New Orleans. Coach, Michigan went on that 5-0 run to start the second half. You called a timeout. How do you feel like your team responded after that?
It was just a nice timeout. I was very mild and gentle and just needed to, it's teaching. That happened to us in the SEC tournament against Tennessee. We had a 17-point lead, and we're trying to grow, and we're trying to teach them. How did they just score 5 points? Foul line, stop the clock, three-pointer, 2 feet off. So you're just stopping and you're teaching them. And that's what we did, stop them, challenge them, and teach them, and make them remember.
Michael Cobble, WBRC. Just your thoughts on the job that Kateri did tonight.
Kateri was at Ohio State. Angel was at Maryland. Those guys are familiar with that league. And I thought Kateri did great defensively. I thought every time Brown tried to do something, Kateri was right there trying to tie her up, just physical with her. I thought when screens were set, Kateri, if you can't get over it, get under it. She was big time. The big three she hit, that was big. That was confident. Kateri will pass the ball before she shoots it a lot of times. She can shoot it. Let it fly. She was good. She was good defensively. Here comes my guy. They didn't throw waves at us. They threw 6 at us. Told you they wouldn't.
Dylan Sanders, 24/7. Same question I asked the players. What can you say about Flau'jae and her performance as a true freshman in this kind of game?
Well, Flau'jae gets down on herself when she misses shots. And I stay on her about, if that guy in the paint's open, she's going to make a hero out of you. Get her the ball when you're missing shots. And then loosen up, and then she'll get the ball right back to you when things are going good. And I just think sometimes she doesn't know how to take me. And so I just told her when she came off that floor, you're going to be one heck of a player by the time your career is over. Look how much you have improved thus far. And she's better. She's better at understanding all phases of the game. She got us big rebounds when she missed shots. She didn't stop shooting the ball. She got us more paint touches than she probably did 3-4 months ago. I pulled her to the side one time. We were running, and she trotted from foul line to foul line on that left wing. And Alexis has the ball here, and here's a post here. If she would have just been in a dead sprint and cut to the basket, Alexis would have given her a layup. That's what you're continuing to teach freshmen.
Matthew Bruni with On 3 over here. Was it a relief to see, Jasmine hit those threes, and then, other players start stepping up and making threes after y'all's performance against Hawaii?
Yes, the relief was the timing of hitting the threes. We had taken some. Alexis was she was kind of hesitant after she missed a few, and Flau'jae was not real happy at herself for missing a few. And so I thought, if they're going to stay in this zone, let me give Jazz a look. And she came out just smoking. And she wanted to go back in. I'm ready, Coach. I'm ready. I said, I know you are, Jazz. I know you are. But the flow of the game dictates, when you go in the game. But, man, she's our hero. I mean, she came in and did her job.
Chesson Boucher with WVLA here in Baton Rouge. Coach, I just talked to Jazz, and I asked her, where did that confidence come from? And she just said the belief that you gave in her. Did you say anything or do anything, or is it just her ability to see what was on the floor to coming off the bench from that?
I think Jazz is a type of person that I probably don't give her enough hugs. She needs more hugs. Each kid is different. Some need a kick in the rear. Some need hugs. Jasmine wants to please me. In all that she does, she wants to please me. And I feel that from her. I can sense it in her. And she needs to understand I never stop believing in you. When I make decisions on not starting or taking you in and out of a ball game, it has nothing to do with how much I love you. It is strictly a basketball decision, and I think she's grown and sees that, and sees her value. Jasmine, I think, will tell you if she doesn't say this, you need to ask her. This is the best year of her college career. It's the most productive year of her college career. Started at Georgia Tech, went to West Virginia. You just ask her. And those are things I keep reiterating to her is it doesn't matter how many you miss. It doesn't matter how many minutes you get. Think about your entire year. This is probably the best year she's ever had in basketball.
Corey Diaz is with the USA Today Network. Kim, I know there's a lot of really good things happening on campus right now. Athletically, baseball's number one. Football team had the season that it had. When you think about Angel Reese, how do you qualify her importance on Louisiana State University's campus, to the women's basketball program here, to the athletic department? Just how do you qualify just her significance?
Well, I'm answering it from a partial viewpoint. I see her every day. I don't have one clue what goes on social media unless somebody brings it to my attention. I just know that she has to be mentioned today in a short period of time. She's only been here, and she has an opportunity to stay here for 2 more years. She has made an impact on our program, women's basketball, and I would think, just like the brand LSU, every sport has one particular player or 2 particular, depending on the sport, that everybody knows about. And I think Angel, she has lived up to her hype on this floor. She still hasn't won a championship. She craves that. She wants that. But she has helped us jumpstart and wake up this program and wake up this community and bring young kids to ball games and older people who are just like, thank you, Coach. we just been kind of fading away, wanting something exciting to happen. And she's done that. Flau'jae has done that. Alexis Morris has done that. And they've taken advantage of NIL, guys. I was in shock the other day when I saw some of those numbers. I was like, oh, you're kidding me. But it's here to stay.
And that was head coach Kim Mulkey talking about our LSU Tigers. Right at the end there, you heard about talking about Angel Reese and Alexis Morris and some of the NIL deals they've gotten. And you really got to feel happy for those women. Get to make some money as they contribute so much to the program. This is a team that won 9 games this season before Kim Mulkey got here, and now going to the Sweet 16 for the first time in 9 years. Not to take anything away from Coach Nikki Fargas, but this is not the same program it was 3 years ago.
Talking about Nikki Fargas and Kim Mulkey in the same sentence is like mentioning.
Blasphemy.
Well, I don't want to give any analogies, but look, you heard her. She was sopping wet because I don't know if you saw the locker room celebration. They doused her with more water. You know, it's amazing to see these coaches and the way they dress up. Some of the guys, like Scarborough, likes them to be in a suit and tie. A lot of Dawn Staley's got a crazy wardrobe, but Kim Mulkey, you ever seen her closet? I mean,
yes.
All those shoes, all that. This is happening, and everybody on the staff has a personality with the way they dress. But all kidding aside, it's been a lot of fun to follow, and I think, JP, people have gravitated to it. Number one, LSU's winning, and they're really good.
Right.
But number 2, Matt McMahon and the men left so much to be desired.
Yep.
In case you hadn't heard, Justice Hill and Kendall Coleman, 2 guys that were reserves for the most part. Justice Hill did get some PT, quit the team. McMahon let him come back. He came over from Murray State. He's in the transfer portal. Kendall Coleman's in the transfer portal. There's going to be more guys. I would like to see him retain 5 or 6. the Adam Millers of the world, maybe some of those bigs, maybe that 7-footer, and then NIL and transfer portal. He's got a long way to go. But really, when you talk about spring football, you talk about men's baseball, softball had a rude awakening against Tennessee, but they're really
Right.
that good. You talk about Kim Mulkey. You talk about all the spring sports. Matt McMahon is the only one that's really having some problems. So year 2 will be important for his rebuild in Tiger Town. But great crowd. Kudos to all of you out there who went to the Pete Maravich Assembly Center.
Yeah.
That's the best I've seen in a basketball setting, the LSU women's crowd, in a long, long time.
So Friday, LSU versus Utah from Greenville. That'll be 4 o'clock, Bud Man, or right around that time on ESPN, so you can check it out. If they win that game, they advance to Elite Eight. That game will be on Sunday, right around 6 o'clock. So good luck to Coach Kim Mulkey. Had a great send-off party. A lot of fans went out there today to wish him well, watch the team get on the bus and leave for South Carolina. So they're traveling now. Certainly hope them safe travels and hopefully arrive safely and take care of business.
No doubt about it. And look, they got personalities. They're a lot of fun. I do think Alexis Morris has got to play more. If you remember the way she played against South Carolina on that game on the road, and then you take what she did the last weekend, it's night and day.
Yep.
So hope that she gets her jets back, and when she's shooting the three from the outside with confidence. And I thought LSU did a great job. We had mentioned this now. They only had like 7 turnovers against Purdue. You protect the rock, you shoot free throws, you play good defense, you hit a few 3 balls, and then you keep Angel and the rest of them out of foul trouble. That's a heck of a basketball team, and we'll see. I thought they were a year away. They still may be a year away, but if they win this game on Friday, I don't think there's any stopping them beating the winner of course, the first game, Miami and Villanova, which will be 1:30. Tiger fans are watching more women's basketball because the men. How about your brackets? I picked Purdue. I picked Purdue to win it all. Only the second time in history did a number 1 team get beat by 16. Kansas got beat. A lot of the Detroit got beat. And I'm sorry. You can say whatever you want to say about me. I can't pull for Alabama to win a national championship in basketball. Horns down, Alabama down. I don't want to see it.
Another quick break here on Tigers Roar. We'll come back, talk some LSU baseball right in the thick of their SEC play. Don't go anywhere. You are watching Tigers Roar.
Tremonti's has meat. Tremonti's has seafood. Tremonti's has much more. Tailgating and home gating platters. Huge wine and liquor selection. Beer and all the spices you need. Chairman Reserve and Wagyu meats. Ribeye rolls, shrimp rolls, kebabs. 20 flavors of sausage for the grill. Daily lunch specials and game processing. On-site catering also available. Good meat ain't cheap and cheap meat ain't good. Visit Tremonti's.com.
The season of inspiration is the perfect time to discover the enhanced Mazda CX-5, named a 2022 IIHS Safety Pick Plus Award winner, its highest safety award honor. Choose from over 45 CX-5s available at Baton Rouge's Mazda dealer, Team Mazda on Airline.
Hey everybody, I'm Kevin Gallagher. This is Roy Fletcher. We hope you'll join us for Fletch Nation, especially if you like talking politics.
Hey, come and join us. We'll give you the information, and then we'll give you the context. And by the way, we'll give you fun, too.
Lots of fun. We hit the local races, the state. We even look at what's going on all across America. And by the way, this space is available. If you'd like to talk about advertising, send your emails to Roy Fletcher at royfletcher.com and join us every week here on the Pelican for Fletch Nation.
Caught spiders. Premier Pest Services.
Every great story starts with the rush of thrilling gaming action. Handcrafted flavors, eager to please. Getaways for some well-deserved me time. And rewards worth bragging about. If it's a story worth telling, it starts at La Berge Baton Rouge. What's your story?
Live and play on the fairway at Greystone Golf and Country Club, a serene, challenging golf destination located in Denham Springs. For tee times and membership opportunities, go to GreystonCountryClub.com.
Treads & Care Tire Company announces its new location on Hooper Road in Central. Locally owned for 50 years, Treads & Care is known for quality automotive repair with top-notch customer service. Treads & Care offers the convenience of shuttle service and pickup and delivery of your vehicle. You can also enjoy the comfortable customer area, complete with workstations, high-speed internet, and a complimentary coffee bar.
I'd like to invite you to come out and see us at our new location in Central.
Treads & Care, the tires you need and the service you want.
We continue here on Tigers Roar. Reminding you guys, check out our YouTube page at youtube.com/Pelican Broadcasting. If you missed any of this episode of Tigers Roar or any episodes in the past, go check out our YouTube page. They're all there archived for your viewing pleasure. We have a lot more on our YouTube page, including the Clarence Bugg Show, Overtime with Athletic Director Roman Banks from Southern University, Fletch Nation, a political show that looks at a lot of in-depth issues that affect you in your day-to-day life, and a whole lot more. So check it out, youtube.com/Pelican Broadcasting. We continue here on Tigers Roar talking about some LSU baseball, currently sitting at 19-2, 2-1 in the SEC if they drop the Sunday game this past weekend to Texas A&M. A very talented team, Budman, but LSU is 4 outs away from sweeping the series.
Yeah, you probably think that they kind of let that one get away, but this is what happens in baseball. SEC has about 7 teams in the top 11, and I'm going to predict a record that I don't know if it's going to be broken anytime soon. Paul Skeens, folks, I think is going to be the first pitcher taken.
I think so, too.
Dylan Cruz, folks, I think is going to be the first position player taken. They could go 1-3, 2-4, 1-5, whatever. I don't ever remember. Now, Ben McDonald was a Golden Spike winner and went number 1.
Yep.
Alex Bregman went number 2.
Yep.
Aaron Nola went 7th in the first round, number 7 pick. I don't think we've ever seen 2 picks go in the top 5. I'm predicting it now. Skeens and Cruz, top 5 with the draft this summer.
Paul Skeens only throws double-digit strikeouts. That's all he does. He dominates with 4 pitches, throwing 99 to 100. His emotion on the mound, he's always even keel. Even when he gets to strikeouts, you don't see him get too high or too low. As dominating a player as we've seen at LSU, and haven't even seen him hit yet, Bud, man. We've heard a lot of stories about the guy dropping bombs, but I don't know if there's a Todd Peterson factor heading off into the SEC tournament later on this year. If you needed an extra at-bat, LSU's so loaded, I get it. It's not likely, but Paul Skeens, wow. What he's been able to do on the mound for LSU. Is he 5-0 or 4-0?
5-0, 59 strikeouts.
Yeah.
4 walks.
Incredible.
That's almost a 15-to-1 ratio. By the way, there was a lot of talk in the fall camp preceding the season of practice that they were going to let Skeens pitch on Friday and possibly DH on Saturday or Sunday. JP, I think he's been so good that you don't want to mess what's going on
don't want to
right
tweak
now.
The bat.
Jim Schlossnagle, who's been around the game a long time, Texas A&M coach, said that's as good as I've seen. Steven Strasburg, you remember how good he was.
Certainly.
Mark Breyer, you remember how good he was. So right out of the gate, you got the LSU fan base thinking, look, you're going to win every Friday night game, or certainly most of them. And here's the thing. I got to ask you, does he move Thatcher Hurd to Saturday and Ty Floyd Backaday to Sunday? What's going to be tweaked there? Paxton Kling, as most of you know, had a rough weekend. They sat him down last night, but you have so much depth, so much talent that you're going to have to keep up with it. But look, man, got a nasty Nate Ackenhausen from the left side. Little kind of fell back a little bit. Oh, by the way, did you see that strike zone? My, oh my, that umpire on Saturday and Sunday was not consistent. Ben McDonald explained it. College strike zone should be a little different than the major league strike zone, and we'll see what happens. They are actually charting every pitch with the college umpires this year, so the strike zone is a little tighter. That all being said, Garrett Edwards doing a great job. Don't be surprised to see him on the back end sometime.
That's right. So Friday was 9-0. Paul Skeens had 11 strikeouts. Tommy White had 3 RBIs. You go to Saturday, Jared Bear-Jones. I mean, the guy had 7 RBIs, a 3-run homer. LSU wins 12-7. You move on to Sunday. LSU has a 6-4 lead, bottom of the 8th, give up 4 runs, lose that game 8-6. Come back last night, Tuesday, take on Central Arkansas at the box. It was a 4-4 tie, and then Jordan Thompson, 3-run bomb. It takes the guys to set up Thompson, but that was a clutch swing. Hit it over the wall, a second home run of the season. It couldn't come at a better time for LSU.
LSU has not hit that many home runs. I think it's like 37 or 38 right now, and they are falling behind from some of South Carolina and Florida and other teams. But they will continue to hit at a high average. JP, they're hitting like 330.
Yeah.
Their ERA is about 2.7 or 8. I mean, these stats, more shutouts than anybody. I mean, you can go across the board. But once again, the grind, and I think this weekend is going to be the first weekend that the hair on the back of the neck of Jay Johnson crawls up. I think it's going to be chill bump crowd. And how about this multitasking? You watch the Lady Tigers at 4 o'clock, then you either go out to the box or you watch them on TV 7 o'clock. Gymnastics is going to Denver. They did well and finished third in the SEC championship. And, of course, softball on the road at Ole Miss this weekend.
We do have some highlights from this past Tuesday's game, LSU versus Central Arkansas. We'll ask AT, who's doing a great job on the truck, to go ahead and roll those highlights, and we'll continue the conversation about LSU baseball. Coach Jay Johnson has a lot of arms in that bullpen, bud, man. Guys haven't had to work that much. I mean, it's been kind of the starter that passes off to the reliever, and it's really been only 2 or 3 guys just seen a game. This past weekend against A&M, some rotation of guys like Christian Little had to come in for a second game in the series. A lot of these guys haven't pitched, 2 games in the same week, much less 2 games in the same series. So I think, it's never good, like Coach Johnson said, it's never good to lose a game. But if you're going to lose, make it a learning opportunity, and I think that was a good learning opportunity for LSU Tigers.
All right, here we go, rolling the tape, and once again, you see LSU, a lot of dingers, and as we know, Tommy White's fun to watch, man.
Yeah,
that's Dylan Cruz with the home run, and I don't know if we've seen an overall player like him in a long, long time.
No, defensively, a five-tool guy for sure. Can hit with power, can hit for average. Awesome in the field on defense, can run, can throw. Here's a little mishap from A&M. Gets the Tigers on the base pass. Here's a good little sack bunt right here, laid down to score Jones from third. LSU does know how to play small ball if they need to, but obviously that's not a big part of their game, bud, man. They like to drive the baseball.
Well, actually, and here is Bear Jones once again taking one. And as we know, he has been phenomenal with 7 home runs. Look, there's a couple things that LSU has not done well at this point. They don't necessarily hit left-handed pitching that well, and they are not, once again, very good bunters.
Right.
I don't know when we're going to ever see a coach come in here and play small ball, and you got to do it more in Omaha than you do in the regular season.
Right.
But they are going to have to get better at swinging against lefties if they're going to win this thing this year.
I completely agree. You saw an emergence of Pearson this past couple games, and he had a rough start. Rough spring, but Coach Johnson just showed faith in him and stuck with him. And you mentioned Kling, who's been struggling a little bit, go to the bench. And Pearson steps up, has pretty good outings.
No doubt about it. Oh, by the way, LSU has only made 7 errors so far this year.
Huge.
Fielding 989. You know what they fielded last year? 962. A big difference in playing defense. And right now, no apparent weaknesses other than not being able to bump when they want to and facing good lefties.
LSU will take on Arkansas at the box this weekend, 7 o'clock on Friday. That game's on ESPN2, 1 o'clock on Saturday, noon on Sunday. That Saturday game's on SEC Network, and Sunday will be on ESPN. A lot going on, LSU hoops this weekend, so hopefully you have time to watch it all, bud, man.
Who you won in the men's basketball championship?
I don't care. I haven't watched. Look, I filled out a bracket just because, for the fun of it. Purdue goes down to the 16th seed. I think most people's bracket gets busted, but I never put a lot of stock into that. And truthfully, with the LSU women being so good, it's been easy not to watch the men's side. You catch a few highlights on social media, but I've been more intrigued with the Lady Tigers.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Of course, Tennessee had a nice win over Duke over the weekend to advance to the Sweet 16. Look, the SEC is not known for the basketball conferences. It's certainly a football conference, 1, baseball, 2. You look at gymnastics and all the other great softball, all the other great sports. But they have kind of flexed a little muscle here with the men's and the women's in the March Madness so far.
We'll take another quick break. We'll come back, talk some LSU spring football. Don't go anywhere. You are watching Tigers Roar.
miss the feeling.
Hello guys, it's Debbie. It's time. I've got a brand new location. 10510 Airline Highway, Baton Rouge, next to After 5 Tuxedos. We have the perfect spot to get all your wedding and formal wear needs. Come see our one-of-a-kind name brand and get great prices. With 30 years experience, the best customer service anywhere. It's Debbie's Bridal, Airline Highway, Baton Rouge. See you soon.
Hi gang, Clarence Buggs here, inviting you to come by Old School Barbecue, 10655 Coursey Boulevard, where we tape the show live every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday at 11 o'clock. Come by and feast on news, sports, current events, love of God and country, and lots of common sense, along with some of the best barbecue anywhere on the planet. 10655 Coursey Boulevard, Old School Barbecue, home of the Clarence Buggs Show.
Bolello's Furniture and Appliances, your dependable independent. Depend on us for service, for selection, for price. Get huge Whirlpool savings. Shop now and save on Whirlpool appliances throughout the store. Plus, experience our price match guarantee and ask about special financing. You can depend on the know-how of people who live appliances every day. Bolello's Furniture and Appliances, your dependable independent with nationwide buying power.
Live and play on the fairway at Greystone Golf and Country Club, a serene, challenging golf destination located in Denham Springs. For tee times and membership opportunities, go to GreystoneCountryClub.com.
You could be driving. Now's the time to save on new Accords during Happy Honda Days at Team Honda of Acadiana. Get our lowest prices and biggest savings on our largest selection of Accords this year. Hurry in and save during Happy Honda Days at Team Honda of Acadiana, I-49 just south of Opelousas.
LSU spring football back in action yesterday, March 21st. We do have some comments from head coach Brian Kelly talking about his team, their progression. A very good question from our buddy from TigerBait.com, Mike Scarborough, asked about the analytics and how he can measure if his team has gotten bigger, stronger, and faster. And here's Coach Brian Kelly to tell you all about it on Tigers Roar.
Coach, right here. Just was curious about what the conversations were like with Jaden this offseason, about what you guys really wanted to focus on with him this spring. If you could just go into some detail about that.
Yeah, I think, when Jaden made the decision to come back, I think there's, a number of things that are on the table for discussion. And, you start with, the physical development, right? Certainly, looking at, how we can put together a plan for his, strength and conditioning. So we went into part of this is we had to recruit him back too, right? So we had to give him a comprehensive plan as to, what we were going to do in the weight room, how we were going to continue to develop him, technically as a quarterback. All of those pieces. And then, utilizing the resources that we have here. We have, VR, we have the ability to, train year round, having receivers here for him. It was really just having a comprehensive year-round training program for him right here. And then providing him the opportunity to do other things as well. As you know, he went out on the West Coast and trained with, other elite quarterbacks, providing him the contacts to do that. So I think more than anything else, it was just really continuing the development of a quarterback that's in that stage. And when we were able to meet and he saw that we had a comprehensive plan, I think it helped him make his decision.
Coach, what would your analytics tell you about the guys that were with you at this time last year, where they're at now, strength and conditioning wise, and do you like where they're at?
Oh yeah, it's quite different. I can give you a couple of pieces of information not this past Friday, but the Friday before we left. We had 9 players run 20 miles an hour or more. We only had 1 at that second practice the year before. So that tells us a little bit about our speed and strength, being much more deeper within our entire team. I think we've looked at all of our numbers, and it's pretty clear that, our football team is bigger, faster, stronger. Now, you've got to be able to translate that as well. We clearly feel like we've addressed some depth needs, but you wouldn't know that today. We've got 8 healthy linemen out there, so we're actually in a different position than we were last year, and that we have to be a lot more careful in terms of what we're doing. We've got some help on the way, which will help us during the season. But I think each year, what we're looking for is what you mentioned. We want to be physically stronger, faster, bigger, faster, stronger as a team, and we are.
Brian, when Deshaun Womack signed, y'all said, you envisioned him kind of as a jack linebacker. He seems to have put on quite a bit of size at this point. When he is healthy, do y'all still see him there, maybe at defensive end?
I think he's got some flexibility as a guy that could play the big end position, but we haven't ruled out how we play him. Is he a stand-up 2-point player in a manner that he's 100% of the time a jack linebacker? No, probably not, but it doesn't mean that we can't be in 4 down and he can stand up and drop in a limited fashion to change the looks up, because he is so athletic. So your observations are right on, but we think that his athletic ability still lends itself to having some of the traits necessary to, put him in a hybrid position.
Hey, Coach, when you look at Emory Jones, a 19-year-old true sophomore, seems like he's well beyond his years of maturity and leadership. But what are you seeing out of a guy like that who talks about winning national championships and wants to be a leader?
Well, it starts with how he handles himself, away from the field. I mean, he makes good choices, good decisions. He's never on a list. And when I say a list, he's never on an academic report. He's never on any of the lists relative to being late to anything. He's reliable. I was telling our guys the other day, in my 3 decades of being head coach, if there's one question I'm asked over and over from GMs and head coaches, is he reliable? Is he going to be on time? Can I count on him? This is a guy you can count on, and we can count on him as a true freshman, and now going into his, well, he's not a sophomore yet, he's still in his freshman year. He's so reliable, and that just goes to his parenting, his background, his high school, where he came from. He's exceptional.
Hey, Coach, with a guy like Denver Harrison, just given some of his history, what made you feel confident that he could fit into what you're building here?
Yeah, I mean, obviously we did a lot of research. This was not a decision that we just said, here's a great player. He had to fit. We felt like, we did our due diligence in terms of his background, and, there's an affiliation with LSU here with the family. He had a lot of people speak on his behalf. He had a number of interviews with Coach House and myself, and we felt with the culture in which we have put together here that he would make it here, because the culture is really strong, and it's proven to be that he's done well early on, and he has no choice. He has to make it. So here's a guy that has been given a second chance, and we feel like because of the circumstances, The culture is strong. He knows that this is really his last chance at an SEC opportunity, that it was worth the risk, and so far so good.
Hey, Brian, obviously your Jack room is pretty much all new guys for the most part, and you decided to bring Coach Jancic to be full-time focus on that. I guess what was your outlook this offseason on that room, and what are you seeing so far?
Yeah, so there's young players in there, but we brought some transfers in there. So Ovie Oghoufo has played a lot at that position in a similar role at Texas, and we felt like him and certainly Braden Swinson are two guys that had a little bit more of a veteran kind of presence with some young players, and we felt like that was the kind of mix that we were looking for. And that's proven to be pretty good right now. Ovie's been really good as a leader, as a mentor right away to some of the young players. And I think some of the young kids have shown themselves to be a little bit further along than we thought. And that will be a position that continues to evolve, but I think we wanted somebody coaching that position on a full-time basis because of certainly, you look at what we're asking that person to do. It's hard sometimes for the defensive line coach to break away all of the responsibilities of that position in terms of coverage and such when you're coaching the interior. So that's why we wanted Coach Jancic to be focused on that with the special teams.
And that was head coach Brian Kelly of the LSU football Tigers talking about his quarterback. The team as they progress through the offseason, getting bigger, faster, and stronger, as well as his final comments right there about the new special teams coordinator, John Jancic. Bud.
Yeah. Hey, we'll give you some names and numbers and more in-depth detail next time we're over here at Tigers Roar. I got LSU beating Utah and the winner of Villanova and Miami. I normally wouldn't be saying this. I thought they'd go Elite Eight. I'm picking them to go Final Four right now.
Man, I like it, bud. Man, I like it. Certainly appreciate you tuning into this episode of Tigers Roar. Couldn't do it without you. Couldn't do it without the Florida Rector, Marty, and 18, the truck, who did a great job driving the bus by himself. Don't forget, check out our YouTube page at youtube.com/Pelican Broadcasting. Click the likes button if you see something that you enjoy. Subscribe to our page so you know every time something new is posted. youtube.com/Pelican Broadcasting. For the Bud Man, I am Jonathan Poche. Certainly appreciate you watching this episode of Tigers Roar, and we'll see you next time.